We are learning more about the 15-year-old Meigs County teenager accused of shooting and killing her father.
WBIR requested the court unseal public records in this case. We turn to 10 News reporter Lauren Davis from our newsroom to explain what happened today. Lauren?
John Robin Evelett High is accused of shooting and killing her dad Richard in June while he slept. And while the 15-year-old is a minor, 10 News is reporting her name because under state law, she's accused of committing a serious violent crime. According to records, the Meigs County Sheriff's Office received a 911 call early June 10th from Evelett. She told authorities she'd shot her father in their Gunstalker Road home. Records state he'd taken away her phone and was trying to prevent her from seeing her boyfriend. She told investigators in the middle of the night she woke up angry, loaded her gun, debated for around 20 minutes, and then went into the living room and shot her father once in the head as he slept. WBIR sued for access to the juvenile court records. Under state law, petitions and court orders involving a child aged 14 and older are public if the teen is accused of first-degree murder or other violent crimes.
Hey, yo, what up, my 1751 family? I'd like to thank you all for tuning in, man. For those of you who have already smashed and subscribed, I'd like to thank you all, man, for y'all unwavering support, man. It means so much to me in this channel. Help this channel go a long way, man. You know? And for those of you who have yet to smash and subscribe, but you enjoy watching these videos, what are you waiting for, man? Go on over, take a minute, smash and subscribe, and don't forget to hit the bell notification while you at it. Now, today we're going to be reviewing a story coming out of Meigs County, Tennessee. Now, this is a quite, more rather interesting story because it's not, you don't hear about these type of stories every day, but they do happen, So today we have a story of a young lady, 15 years old, still a minor. I'm not sure what the age limits are in Tennessee, but she's still a child, 15 years old. She goes by the name Evelett High. Evelett High. Now, the reason I say this story is rather interesting compared to the rest, is because this situation, like I said, they happen, but you don't hear about them too often. Now, Evelett High was arrested. She was arrested for the death of her father, Richard High. Now, the reason she's arrested for her father is because her father, Richard High, was said to have taken her phone away and tried to stop her from seeing her boyfriend. Her father, whether he was trying to protect her or whatever the reason was for him taking the phone away and trying to block off all avenues from her seeing this guy that she was dealing with, right? But obviously Evelett, didn't adhere to that. She didn't accept that, and she wasn't gonna let anything, man, not even her own father, man, for that matter, stop her from seeing this guy, whoever he was, or whoever he is, right? Now, when I heard the story, it was quite mind-boggling, blew my mind a little bit, right? So let's get down to the nitty-gritty, right? Her mother, Evelett's mother, is said to be out of town serving time. So her mother is arrested out of town, right? Which explains why Evelett and her two little brothers was living with her father in Tennessee. Okay? Now, the way this tragic incident occurred, unfolded. Richard, Evellett's father, was said to have taken her phone from her, and she waited. Evelett waited until her father went to sleep. She laid in her bed, contemplating, how she was going to do this or whether she should do it or not. She was just, out of her mind at that point. She didn't want to be away from this guy, and her father was the only thing in the way of that, right? So Evelett, came to a point in her mind where she said, I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to do it, right? She got up and went and retrieved her firearm. She went and grabbed her gun, right? Her gun, not her father's gun, not her mother's gun, but her gun. That sticks out to me. A 15-year-old girl owning her own firearm. These type of things are unheard of, man, in like in the black communities, things like that. These are things that are very much exclusive to the suburbs, and these houses out in the woods, where they got all the land, and they teach their kids how to shoot. They give their kids their own personal firearm at a very young age. But this time, it unfortunately backfired. And as a result, Richard High now lays in the cemetery to rest. And his daughter, Evelett High, has been arrested because she decided to grab that gun while her father was asleep and let her frustration and anger get the best of her from laying there thinking all night. She let her anger get the best of her, and she grabbed her gun and she went into that room and she blew her father's brains out. She put the gun to the front of his head and blew his brains out. Right? Now, she's been arrested, but the thing is, since she's underage, the news media claims that they can't really report much on the situation, and they are not allowed to show any pictures, any pictures of Evelett. And I'm quite sure you all would like to see a picture of Evelett. What do this young lady look like? And what does her father look like? Well, although the news are holding back the picture and claim that they can't get photos, I've done some digging. And I actually got you a photo of both of them, separately and together. And which they seem like a happy family, pictures always paint a different story than what the reality is beyond the picture. Even videos sometimes. Yeah, man. Now, like I said, I'm going to show you some pictures of this family. But before I do that, I want to get down to what the consequences are behind her actions, right? Now, Evelett High is said to have been arrested, and they are deciding whether to charge her as an adult or charge her as a child, being the fact that she's 15 years old, right? But they also have a thing where they can charge her as both juvenile and adult. You know, so the courts are deciding what they want to do with this young lady. But you know, they're also trying to figure out a way to kind of have some mercy on this young lady. You know, they're sending her through mental evaluations and trying to make arguments that she was going through things, and you know, she's just a child and has no full control of her mind yet, and you know, the mind is fragile when you're underage and all of this type of stuff, right? But when you murder somebody, man, regardless of your age, you know, the consequences, man, has to be, you know, just as punishing, man, as the life you took, man. You know, whether you're a child or not. Man, you murder somebody, you know. As a child, I knew as a child. And I've done some crazy things as a child, man. I was a rough boy growing up. But I never murdered somebody as a child because I knew. Nobody, you know, there's no coming back from death, man. Once you take somebody's life away, man, there's no coming back. You know, and there's no apologizing about it. You know, there's no, there's nothing you can do. You know, you murdered a person. Now they're going off to get laid to rest. And you got to live with that for the rest of your life. Not for 5 years, for 10 years. You know, you have to live with that for the rest of your entire life, okay? So, you know, as a child, you know, every child knows, man. You know right from wrong as a child, man. And knowing not to murder somebody is no different than knowing right from wrong, you know? There's consequences for murder. Now, this young lady, Evelett High, like I said, is said to be being held while they try to figure out what to do with her. While they try to figure out what to do with her. You know, one thing I know, man, is in the black community, man, you know, we also have kids that fall into that black hole. You know, they get influenced by the wrong things, you know, let the wrong things take a hold of their mind, and they end up picking up a gun and going to do some bad things, right? And you don't hear much about mental evaluations and, you know, talking about their good prior history, and you don't hear it, whether it's a child or not. You know, these children, they understand. That's why a lot of times it's worse when children murder somebody, because a lot of these kids, they understand that they are just kids, and they know how the courts will see them. Trust me, they watch documentaries, they watch movies, you know, and if a lot of you remember, there was a long period of time where you had child murderers at an all-time high, right? Where they was happening all over America, right? Children murderers. They were leading, even more than adults. Children murderers. Well, it's kind of similar to in the black community today. There's more kids killing people than anybody else, because these kids are lost, man, and they're misguided, you know, and they're just lost, man, you know. But killing your own father over a man is just kind of mind-boggling for me, you know. Now, I know a lot of you are wondering, was this man a black man? Because obviously Evelett and her father were white. They were a white family. You know, what are some reasons? What is a good reason that her father would you know, not want her to be involved with her boyfriend? Was it because he's black? Now that, I'm not gonna jump the gun on, because I'm not sure. But when I ask myself, you know, especially after seeing this picture here, you know, now this picture here explains the story, right? Now a lot of you may know that this flag here belongs to Confederate. You know, this is the Confederate flag, right? Now her father, this is a picture from inside of their house. Confederate flag, right? He also has a Confederate flag on his truck. And here you can see, as the police pull to the house, you know, to do some investigation, you can see from the window, from the street, the Confederate flag in the window. And on this Confederate flag is written, it says, not hate. You know, not hate. Or hatred or something to that nature, right? But to write not hate on the Confederate flag is almost like a contradiction to what that flag stands for. That flag stands for hate. That's a hate flag, right? And it's always been a hate flag, you know. It's always been used as a badge of honor when killing black folks and hanging black folks. So that flag is a hateful symbol, right? Regardless of what anybody has to say. You know, that flag is a symbol of hate. And Richard Hyde had that flag in his house and on his truck. So that's what leads me to believe that, you know, Richard Hyde may have been a racist man, but unlike, you know, some white families, well, a lot of white families, you know, the parents pass their racism down to the child, and the child becomes programmed as they grow up in the custody of these parents. But there's an exception to that, because you have some white households where the child has a different outlook on life and how they see people, right? Where the child's mind is a lot bigger than the parents, right? And this seems to be one of those cases, right? So if you ask me, I'm going to say this was a black man, and that's the reason why Richard didn't want his daughter dating this man, okay? But as a result, all of these things, man, her having a firearm at the age of 15, him not wanting her to see a man, you know, whether he was black or white or whatever, all these things, man, kind of come back to haunt Richard. You know, now, she was likely one of those kids who, if this was a black man, she was likely one of those kids who, you know, went against the grain with their parents. And you do, like I said, you do have some of them, you know, they do exist, right? That's why I said, if this was a black man, she was likely one of those kids who went against the grain and went against her father's wishes, right? And she went so much against the grain that she was willing to get her father out of here. You know, she was willing to lay him to rest to get him out of the way and deal with whatever comes with it. Because I don't know whether she loved this man that she was with. Obviously she did, you know, if she know what love actually is, or she just having a moment. Whether you know, whether he laid it on her real nice and good, you know, he may have laid it on her real nice and good, you know, and got her soul attached. And now her father is trying to pull her away. And she has to find a way to get back to that thing again that she loved, you know. So, you know, this could have been a lot of different scenarios, but, you know, the prime takeaway from this, man, is Evelett had a firearm at the age of 15. Because if you listen to the news article, they didn't say she went and grabbed her father's gun. Evelett went and grabbed her gun. And she contemplated for about 20 minutes before doing the deadly act.
Deputies responded to the home on Gunstalker Road near the Georgetown community. They found the father dead in his bed. According to court records, when investigators interviewed the 15-year-old, that's when she told them about her dad taking her phone. She told authorities she loaded her gun, checked on her younger brother, and then sat in her room debating her decision for about 20 minutes. Investigators say she told them it was after this that she walked into the living room where her father, Richard High, regularly slept. She then said that she shot him in the head. The judge ordered for the girl to undergo mental health testing. We are still waiting to see if the judge will decide that High will be tried either in the juvenile court system, which she's currently in, or be moved to the adult court system. We do expect High to make a court appearance this morning. We'll, of course, keep you updated both on air and online.
She contemplated for about 20 minutes, went and checked on her little brothers in a room, and then she went in there and she followed through and proceeds to blow her father's brains out on the living room couch. So, you know, that's why I say, man, this situation is not like others, man. This is not like others. This kind of reminds me of that movie, Monsters, where the rich kids went and blew their family's brains out, their mother and their father's brains out, you know, over that life insurance money and the will money and all that, you know. But yeah, man, these situations do happen. This is America, man. This is America. And there are different types of crimes that are attached to different races. You know, these are not the type of crimes that you're going to hear in the black community, but we have our own crimes that are exclusive to our community. But, you know, when it comes to white folks, you know, they got the school shootings, they shoot their parents, their grandparents, they, you know, kill the whole family. You know, they shoot grandmama over the video game for telling them to go to bed, and, you know, just crazy shit like that. You know, things that you would never hear in the black community. You know, we wouldn't dare even think about murdering our own family, our own mother and father and grandparents and shit like that. It's just not happening, you know. But anyway, man, it's been nice kicking it with y'all, man. Until next time, man. You know, I like to thank you all for supporting this channel, man. You know, y'all being a part of the 1751 family means so much to me, man. You know, y'all support is everything, man. You know, and I just want to say, man, for those of you who want to extend your support, you know, let me show you something. These are the new rain jackets, you know. 1751 clothing line, 17 made. These are the new rain jackets, right? You see it. You know, coming soon, man. Coming soon, man. You know, I will be dropping the link, you know, for you guys to go over and check out my webpage where I will have all the merch. All the merch will be available in different colors and different sizes, you know, different drops, different pieces, everything from ski masks, you know, wintertime is here now, so everything from ski masks, sweatsuits, you know, t-shirts as well. You know, just you know, all the little pieces that you might be interested in, you will be able to soon go over to the website and you know, and check me out, man. Check out the merch and show some support, man. You know, I will be doing giveaways. You know, I will be doing giveaways, man. And I will also be doing raffles real soon. You know, the winner will be winning a prize. You know, that prize will be, that shipment will be fulfilled, you know, as promised. I don't play those type of games. You will get your product, you know, if you're the winner. But Yeah, man, if any of you out there feeling generous, man, you want to, extend your support a little farther, man, go on over, and check out that merch, man. 17 made, the clothing line is coming, man, and I will be keeping you guys updated. I'll be keeping you guys updated when the new merch drop. Anyway, it was nice chilling with y'all, man, kicking with y'all. But until next time, hey, if you enjoy watching videos like these, make sure that you like, comment, subscribe. Help your boy get into the algorithm so that I can continue to bring you more videos just like the one you just watched. Anyway, until next time, y'all stay up.